we have new rocket cards, actually, which is exciting. Of course, as someone who has enjoyed Dragon Link a decent amount in the past, I am looking forward to these. These are not from Doom of Dimensions. Of course, Doom of Dimension is already out, so it is now time to get releases or reveals from the next core booster set. And I believe those are the first cards that are actually known from the next core set after Doom of Dimension, which is going to be called Burst Protocol. And so we shall see. Rocket is, of course, also the cover card of the set. So this is basically what it's all about. We now know it's going to have a decent amount of Rocket support in it. I don't know if these are all the cards for Rocket in this pack, or if there's going to be more. But for now, let's jump in and see. We have Rocket Loader, a Dark Dragon level 4, 1500, 1500. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a level 7 Dark Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Dark monsters. You can banish this card from your grave, then target a face-up monster on the field. Its attribute becomes Dark until the end of this turn. Okay, hold up. This is good, right? This is pretty good because it gives you a way to just go +1 off of your quick launch, right? Like quick launch is gonna be a lot stronger with this. There's a lot of strong search targets for this. If you're looking to combo, you can get Abza Router Dragon. That's obvious, right? You can search Noctovision. You can search the Strudo. You can search Dark Arm Dragon. Maybe you play like a one-of Dark Arm Dragon. In a deck full of dark monsters, could be a strong. Maybe going second, like you can sight in a Dark Arm to do that. Maybe there's other stuff in here that you can add, but like, I think the most important part is that we just get a good normal summon next to freaking having to hard draw the Red Eyes metal the baby, the metal baby dragon, or like Seyfert. We can now use like an in-engine rocket starter. That's also a great like normal summon and target for quick launch. This seems pretty awesome. It locks you into darks, so it means we can never make seals, which is a little sad. I'm a big fan of seals gameplay. Also, that's a good point. No Romulus. No Romulus is also a pretty big deal. So, but I mean, look, this is a pretty powerful effect. So maybe it's worth it, honestly. Maybe it's worth it because, I mean, as nice as Romulus is, you can save some extra deck space, and you can also like cut the Dragon Ravine from your main deck, which is not like a terrible draw, but also not a great draw. Because the thing with Dragon Link, or the Rocket version of Dragon Link, has always been like, it's been kind of sad that there's only so few good like rockets actually, because cards being rockets is pretty good for the deck, because you can like, you have more targets for quick launch, you have more targets for the field spell as well to just summon from your hand, right? This is also, yeah, Tracer is also like gonna get a lot stronger with this, because you can just go Tracer, pop anything, and then bring out Rocket Loader. I think I will say already, I guess this is relevant in general for these cards. If we get these in a TCG, I think the fact that Borreload Savage Dragon is banned is gonna matter a lot, right? That's definitely gonna suck for this deck. Or maybe they bring it back in time for this deck, because Savage, I think Savage probably deserved to get banned at the time, but still, like, if you compare it to the other generic extra deck monsters they banned, like Appaloosa and Baron and something, like Savage, which was definitely the weakest out of those. Like, even in Master Duel, where all of them are still legal, like Savage is the one you play against definitely the least. You play against a lot of Appo, you play against a lot of Baron. Savage, I could see them bringing it back to make this deck stronger when it releases. We'll see about that. And honestly, I wouldn't be too mad about it. I would be mad if they brought back Appo, or if they brought back Baron. I would be furious. But if they brought back Savage, I would kind of understand. I'm not like the biggest fan of Savage either, but I would understand. Anyways, this card is good. This card is good, but it has some implications. Like, it does not straight up just make the deck better. You actually have to cut some other stuff. Like, you have to not go for Romulus, not go for Seals, which is relevant. Hollow Rocket Dragon, which is a level 6. So this one's not searchable with the first one. Remind me real quick. Quick Launch, level 4 or lower, right? Or does Quick Launch summon any rocket? Because I can't remember off the top of my head. I've never summoned a higher monster in level 5. No level lock? Okay, so you can summon this with Quick Launch. All right. It's never been relevant. I've never used a higher level rocket monster, I think. Okay. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. When a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field... Oh, this gimmick again. You can destroy this card, then excavate up to 6 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, and if you do, banish one of them, also place the rest on top in the same order. During the end phase, if this card's in the grave because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special a rocket monster from your deck except Hollow Rocket Dragon. This seems underwhelming. On a level 6 as well, so it's going to be awful in your hand. You can make this pattern easier with this. Does Tracer also not level lock you? Like, can I summon this with Tracer? Any rocket, okay. Sure. I mean, Tracer being a 1-card dissipator is definitely interesting. But like, this card is gonna suck to draw, you know? Like, I don't know. I guess, okay, I guess worst case, it is a rocket. So if it is in your hand, you can special it with like Boot Sector Launch or something, you know? Like, it's not like, if you're gonna have any brick in a rocket deck, at least if it's called rocket, that's cool. So like, maybe you can like justify playing 1 copy. I don't know exactly how the lines are gonna work. I could imagine that very often with Tracer, you want to summon this if you don't start with this in your hand. Like, if this is not your normal summon, I could see that most of the time you're gonna prefer summon Rocket Loader because this thing goes kind of crazy. So like, I think maybe this is just not necessary. This is definitely a little underwhelming, I think. Like, the effects are kind of, they are very mediocre. I mean, sometimes manipulating the top of your opponent's deck can be good because the cards go back in the same order, but you can still be like, okay, the next card they draw is pretty busted, so I'm just going to banish that one. And then I know what other card they're going to draw. Like, that's worth something, but is it worth running a level 6 monster that does not have an effect to summon itself from the hand? So it's going to be very bricky. And you also, like, you have to do a lot of things to even do this, right? You have to target it with a Link monster effect, and then it even destroys itself. So it's kind of It's probably not worth it. Not a huge fan of this one. Rocket Detonator. Oh, Detonator is back. Dark Dragon. Okay, this one is level 7, so you can search it with the first one. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can only use the second effect once per turn. If you control a Dark Dragon Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, that's going to be easy. Striker Dragon. If you you can target 1 Dark Dragon monster card in your spell trap zone, special summon it, but it cannot attack. Its effects are negated. Also, you can special from the extra for the rest of the turn except Darks. A Dark Dragon monster card in your spell trap zone. Nah, this just doesn't work without Savage, right? Like, does Rocket even have another way to put something in the spell trap zone without Savage? Maybe there's other stuff. We have to keep reading. But this gives me, I'm not gonna lie, this gives me vibes of they have to bring Savage back, otherwise this is just gonna suck in the TCG. But okay, let's keep reading. Because for now, this even with Savage in the game, by the way, I think this one looks worse than Abza I think I would most of the time rather search Abza than this with my rocket loader. Unless I already have Abza Borreload Fatal Flare Dragon. Oh, this card looks cool. It looks like super rocket coded. Like they all the this could also just be like a Borreload Dragon alt art, and I would not bat an eye at it. I wouldn't be able to really tell. Okay. It's a fusion. A Dark Link monster and a Dark monster. Super poly potential is there. However, this is something you could probably also make Garura or Mud Dragon with, so it's nothing too special. You can only use the first and second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card's fusion summoned, you can add a rocket monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, now that means if you super poly in rocket, this is definitely better than Garura or Mud Dragon. Add a rocket fronts from deck to hand. Target a dark monster you control. Equip a Dark Link monster from your grave or banishment to it as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. If this card is sent to the grave as link material, you can target a card on the field, destroy it. Ooh, that part's interesting. Target a dark you control, equip a Dark Link monster from your grave. Okay. So what they want you to do is like summon a Link monster, then fuse that Link monster and another Dark monster into Fatal Flare. And then Fatal Flare can equip the Link monster back to itself. And then you can bring that thing out again with the rocket detonator. I see the idea, but so far it's not really coming together for me. Boral Shroud Dragon, Link 5. Oh, we get an alternative for Boral End, I suppose. Maybe you can make both. Boral Shroud Dragon. Your opponent cannot tribute this card on the field. Ooh. Nib? Nib answer. Nib answer. That's an... You know what? You know what? I like that design. I'm gonna have to keep reading the other effects and see if it's actually better than Borland. But I think this is an interesting way to give a deck that used to be... I mean, it's decently weak into Nibiru, right? The Dragon Link deck, right? It was always somewhat weak to Nibiru, but what they do sometimes is just like, oh, we're gonna slap a monster negate in there, and then call it a day, which I think is very lazy. This one is technically unaffected by Nibiru without just being a monster negate, which I think is cool. The thing is, like, Nib is still gonna do a lot against this deck because you just nib them before they make this, and then I guess. But the thing is, like, with cards like these existing, you kind of force your opponent to nib early. Is the cool thing, right? You can still get nibbed, but then maybe you can keep playing after. Is the idea, instead of just negating the nib and ignoring it completely. Is like, you're gonna be nibbed. You're gonna be forced to nib at a certain point. Otherwise, they have the Boral Shroud, and then you have to deal with that. So I think that's cool. Once per turn during the main phase, quick effect. You can target a rocket you control, negate the effects of a face-up card your opponent controls, then destroy that monster. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. Okay. It is a conditional negate that can also hit spell cards, which is pretty powerful. Non-targeting, but you do have to have a rocket monster next to it. Otherwise, you can't do that. And they can't respond to it. Pretty good. It's pretty good if you can easily manage to have other rockets around it. Once while face up on the field, at the start of the battle phase, you can special summon a Link 4 or lower Boral Link monster from your extra. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I like it because it's battle phase, so it only helps you going second. I'm a big fan of those kind of effects. But like being able to go battle phase and just summon out Boral Sword or Boral Load, depending on the situation, I could see it. This is a really good game finisher. Of course, the thing is, like, it competes with Boral End Dragon, which is already a really strong Boral End is already a really strong end board piece, or also in like, because Boral End is like attacking everything, right? So I don't know how easily you can make both is the thing, right? Like maybe you can with some crazy hands, or some of these new cards enable some crazy combos that I just don't really know yet. But like, in my mind, especially when you're getting hand trapped, like maybe in theory you can make both, but in practice you're probably gonna have to decide most of the time, because your opponent is not just gonna let you cook everything you want. But still, this is a pretty strong option, and I like that it's Nibiru. I like that it's Nibiru immune without just negating the Nibiru. So the Nibiru will still have value, but if you're not careful and you let your opponent make this thing and try to nip them after, this is gonna survive, which I think is cool. Triss Boral Dragon. We have a Link 3. For Link 3, okay, the bottom, it has a bottom arrow, which means that it could replace Triple Burst Dragon with like the... It has bottom left as well. It has pretty good arrows, honestly. It has pretty good arrows for Pisty lines, right? It does need a rocket. It's not as generic as Triple Burst, but it has pretty good arrows for Pisty. Like bottom and bottom left is pretty nice. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is link summoned, you can add a rapid trigger, heavy interlock, or double trigger from your deck to your hand. Oh, that's gonna make it easier to perform the fusion summons. Target one face-up card you control and a dark dragon monster in your grave. Destroy that card on the field, and if you do, add the other monster to your hand. Solid. Solid. No, this seems like a pretty good extra deck tool for the deck. Like that seems like a very a huge upgrade to Triple Burst Dragon for your Dragon Link lines, I think. If you choose to play any lines with Rapid Trigger, Heavy Interlock. Double Trigger is a new card, I think. I think it used to be just these two. Which, like, Rapid Trigger is the fusion spell, right? And Heavy Interlock is the ritual spell. Heavy Interlock is the one that's used to summon Borreload Riot Dragon. I don't know if that's going to make it into the deck. But let's read Double Trigger. It is this one. Yeah, Double Trigger. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. You can either fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from your grave, including a rocket monster, or ritual summon a ritual monster from your hand by banishing monsters from your grave. Okay, sure. A miracle fusion for rockets seems pretty nutty compared to what Rapid Trigger was. You can summon any fusion monster with this. I don't know. There's probably other options you can take, but like, of course, Borreload Furious Dragon is a good card. And this one also seems pretty solid, the Fatal Flare Dragon. Okay, now these two, the Link 3 and the fusion spell, make a lot of things connect in my head now on how this is supposed to be played, right? Because I'm like, okay, the fusion monster is cool, but like, how am I really gonna realistically like use it in my combos? And now here's your answer, right? Double Trigger is your answer. So you're supposed to go at some point, make Triss Boral Dragon, add Double Trigger from your deck to your hand, do something with the Triss Boral Dragon so it ends up in your graveyard. Then you use the Double Trigger to summon Fatal Flare Dragon. Fatal Flare can equip the Link 3 Triss Boral Dragon from your banishment to itself as an equip spell, and then you could hypothetically summon it out with Rocket Detonator, which is pretty dangerous because all of a sudden I can see some lines where you can summon Boral End and Boral Shroud. Because if you can recycle, basically, if you can resummon a Link 3 so easily, that's a lot of Link material for Boral Shroud and Boral End, potentially. And also keep in mind that Boral Shroud works in your opponent's battle phase as well. So something like maybe it seems like a small interaction, but when your opponent tries to go into the battle phase at some point and you just summon Boral Sword, you can switch. I think you can switch opponent's monsters to defense with Boral Sword, right? In their battle phase, can you do that? Boral Guard can flip. Oh, hold up. What was Boral Guard again? Boral Guard cannot be destroyed by card effects once per turn. So that's not a quick effect. Once per turn, quick effect. Target a monster, change it to face up defense position. Oh, it face down would have been a lot better, but still, yes, it can switch something to defense position, but not face down. That'd be a lot better. But okay. There's one more. It's a trap. Oh, a trap card. Okay. Counter trap. You can activate this card from your hand. Oh, hold up. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. When your opponent activates a spell trap card, if you control a rocket or Boral monster, negate the activation, and if you do set that card, it cannot be activated this turn. It's called Reboot. It's called Reboot. So it's clearly somewhat aimed at being a red reboot retrain. The fact that you can activate it from your hand is very interesting because you can use it to negate something like Infinite Impermanence, Dominus Impulse, Dominus Purge if you already have a monster on the board. Which makes it decent when you're trying to combo in some matchups. Not every deck plays those cards, but you can. They will keep the card though, right? They can reset it and then use it next turn. Like if it's imperm, you know, like if you use this on an imperm, your opponent is going to keep the imperm for now. Maybe you can get rid of it later, but for now it's going to stay. And the fact that you can activate it from your hand means it's going to be a much better card when you're going second as well. Now, it's the fact that it's not able to hit monsters means it's limited at what it can do when you're playing into a board, right? Like you cannot negate any of their monsters that they made, but like interacting with any trap that like a lot of decks search a trap, right? Like imagine you have this against Vanquish Soul, being able to just negate the Vanquish Soul trap or negating one of the Draco Tail traps or whatever. Like it can be a solid option. I don't know if the deck can search it. I don't think it can. So it just seems like a solid option for Dragon Link decks if like everyone is playing Dominus Purge, Impulse, Imperm, that kind of Songs of the Dominators type stuff, you can just play 3 of it. Like it could just be it can just be a solid 3 of where you basically treat it as non-engine, right? It's basically a non-engine card because you can't search it. It doesn't do anything for your combos, but it's non-engine and it could be solid non-engine depending on the format. Because you can draw it going second and it helps you play into some of their set cards, and going first, it's just going to be a good card in general. It seems fine. Once per turn mod check. Yeah, once per turn does not belong on this card. This is not something that's abusable. This is not they can't search this. They can't this is not something that's super spammable or whatever. Not every card in Yu-Gi-Oh needs a once per turn. It's fine for this card to not be once per turn is fine. Interesting stuff, I will say. I like it because, I mean, Dragon Link is non-existent in current Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So arguably it deserves some support. I personally have always been a fan of Dragon Link. It seems I've liked it. I think it's a fun deck. I think it's currently with this, especially with the first card, I like that it's not like straight up making the deck super broken, but you actually have to like pass up on some of the all-time favorites in Dragon Link. You don't get to play Romulus, you don't get to make seals on top of all of it. So the end board, for the most part, if you're going first, even if they bring Savage Dragon back, is like maybe manageable, like Boral End and Boral Shroud and Savage maybe. But I mean, of course, there's also a lot of other options for the main deck that they could go for, like Levianeer, the Hand Rip or something. We'll have to see. Interesting stuff though. I think they're good cards. I think they're good cards. The deck is definitely still gonna have problems, right? Like the thing is, what this does, I feel like, with the exception of Rocket Loader, all of the other cards basically just give you more endboard pieces in Dragon Link. Like it's more, most of this is just like endboard related. It's mostly boss monsters, right? Like more options in terms of what kind of combos you can make. There is, except for the first one, there's no other new combo starters, right? Like this is a starter, but everything else isn't. And there's nothing really that helps you like play through something like Fuvalos or Maxi for Master Duel and OCG. There's nothing here that helps you play through. I mean, you can argue the Link 5 helps you play through Nibiru, but realistically, if they have Nibiru, you have to threaten this one very early, and you're still gonna get nibbed on like a lot. Even if maybe you can keep playing after, but like it's still gonna hurt. So like a lot of the problems that the deck has right now are still gonna exist. But it's still good support. I do like it. And I do like that it's not, it feels good without being too broken, I think. So that's good. Interesting stuff. I guess what remains to be seen is if there's more Dragon Link stuff in Burst Protocol, or if this is all of them. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, which is a decent chunk for the cover set, for the cover card of the set. How many, for reference, how many cards did DDD get in Doom of Dimension? Because I think that's the most comparable thing. Like that was also the cover theme of Doom of Dimension was DDD. Was it more than 8? 10? Okay, someone said 10, someone said 8, someone said 9. I'm just gonna have to check. Doom of Dimensions. I'm just gonna have to check myself. Okay, which ones are the DDDs though? This DDD, yeah, okay, hold up. We have DD Lance 1, 2, 3. 3 main deck monsters. 4 with the fusion, 5 with the synchro. 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. They got 9 cards for DDD in Doom of Dimension. Okay. So maybe there's more. I don't know if they revealed them all at the same time back then, but we'll see. It seems about right. Maybe 8 to 9 cards. Maybe there's like one more somewhere, but for now, pretty solid wave of support for Dragon Link. Happy to see it. I think this seems cool to me personally. Now I guess the big question, honestly, the big question is will they bring back Savage for this? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, even though the fusion monster can equip something for you to summon with Detonator Rocket, I feel like Savage, like this seems very built around Savage Dragon. I'm not gonna lie. I think this seems very much designed around Savage Dragon existing, especially because Rocket Loader is like the perfect level 4 non-tuner target for Tracer, right? So like going Tracer into Loader, into searching a card, and then making Savage, equipping, and then like Loader searches you Detonator. before you equip with Savage, and then you can summon Detonator and bring out the thing you just equipped to the Savage. Like, it just seems very much made with that card in mind. So I guess it remains to be seen if they bring back Savage on a future ban list. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.